Hello everyone, this is Neha Sisodia, Assistant Professor at New LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome back to another session on effective technical communication, and we were discussing on technical writing. So we are going to discuss about writing reports, technical proposals and technical description if you want to write. So reports are defined as description of some state of art or something which has happened. So it should contain the detailed description of certain problem or a situation that we have taken. It should contain the findings or the investigations that has to be carried out, and it should contain certain conclusions that we have drawn in all the investigations that we have carried out. The report should always contains suggestion for future course of action as well, and also if we want to give some feasible solutions, some recommendations and or actions that has to be taken care of in future, or whatever recommendation which has already been made and the actions has been taken, if we want to modify them for future and if we want to recommend something, we can always add on it to our report. So there are certain features of a report. A report is a statement consisting of some information or accounting of something. As if something has happened, we have to keep an account of it. It should be an orderly or sequential presentation of something which has been happened. So we should keep facts about some activity, event or program which has been done. So basically it should contains an objective. It should be a unbiased presentation of facts. It should not be biased by any means, even if you are reporting someone who is close to you, who is your colleague or something else. You always keep it very unbiased, and you always have to include the facts and figures that you have found out in your entire investigation. It should also contains conclusion drawn by the writer altogether with the procedure that you have followed in order to collect the data, and also what interpretation you have done with the data. So every procedure that you have to follow in the entire report in order to investigate it, and before you draw any conclusion, you always have to mention how you have interpreted the data, how you have collected the data. So every procedure has to be included in your report. Secondly, you always have to give recommendations, what you feel like recommending, or the solutions that you provide already, the problem you have taken for reporting is, then you always have to give certain recommendations or future course of action as we have discussed. So specifically, if you are writing some report, you always have to keep in mind that it should be with a specific audience and purpose in your perspective. So whenever you want to write a report, you should always keep in mind that you are writing it for a specific purpose and for some specific audience. And usually the reporting part is always done by the lower authority for higher authority. So there are certain types of reports, as we have discussed the types of reports we write in our technical writing. So formally we have a formal report. Definitely if we are writing some formal reports in some business purposes, then that will be a formal report. So we have nature, scope and length restriction for this. And secondly, if we have some reports which are periodically repeated, if we have certain frequency of release of that report, then that will be called as routine report. So the departmental performance, if we want to see in certain department, then that will be a routine report. If we want to just communicate to someone, if you want to give something that you want to report in form of oral or written, then that will be a communicational report. But if you want to give certain information, it may be analytical, it may be for a function, event or a program, that will be an informational report. So if you are doing some investigation, you are analyzing the data, and if you are just reporting simply for certain functions, events or program, that will be an informational report. Now, informational report may be of any of these type, but if it is analytical, definitely we have to make it into a written form. So every other report may be oral, may be written. It should always be formal. So if it is formal, we have to define the nature, scope and length of the report before and when we are submitting the report. So this is the entire structure of our report. We should keep a title page where you have to mention the logo of, if more than one organization is participating in this report, then you have to mention the logo of both of them. If you are internally making a report, you should always keep a logo and name of your organization. Then you always have to keep a preface about who has written this, what is the purpose of writing this report, what is the subject, why it is important. Everything has to be written in the preface. Preface should not be so long, but it should be at least 1 or 2 page if you are writing a long report. Otherwise it may be kept for 1 page. The letter of transmittal is one of the letters, like cover letter we used to have in our resume. So in letter of transmittal, if you are submitting the report to someone you don't know, and if the person whosoever you are submitting to is not in front of you, or you are not able to communicate to him, you can write a letter of transmittal which should contain a brief summary of what you have written in the entire report. So it should discuss about what is the objective, what is the purpose of the report, and few of the highlights. If you have investigated something innovative in this report, then you always have to give the highlights into this letter of transmitter itself, so that whosoever is reading this report should get an idea, should I go through the entire report, or first few pages are enough for me to get an idea of what is written in the entire report. Then you have to always acknowledge the person whosoever has helped you to either collect the data or to get the procedure to investigate in by any means. If you have not taken help from anyone, you at least have to acknowledgement your boss or your higher authorities, along with the organization whosoever has supported you in some or the other way, like providing the resources, providing other members, providing you the opportunity to write this report. So everything of this kind has to be mentioned in this acknowledgement section. Then you always have to keep a table of contents, and all the rest of the points that I'm going to discuss will be the part of this table of contents. Then you have to give a list of illustrations. If you have made some tables, figures, then you have to make a separate list of all of these. After that, you have to make an executive summary or an abstract. If it is a function or a program, you can make an executive summary. Otherwise, if you have made some investigations and you have analyzed some data, then you have to give an abstract where it contains everything that you have followed, your data, whatever you have taken, whatever methodology you have followed, what are the conclusion you have made. So line of every part of the report has to be there in the abstract, not the exact line, but the gist of everything you have written. Next to this, we are going to start with the introduction of our report, and after that we have to give the methodology that we have followed. After giving the methodology, you might have referred some things in your introduction and methodology that you have to cite. Later on, where we have to cite, I'm going to discuss this, and we have to make the discussions, findings or analysis in this report. So whatsoever method you have followed, you have to make certain discussions. If you have found something, you have to mention the findings. If you have analyzed something, you have to always give what type of analysis you have done and what is the analyzed result. After that, you have to make some conclusions out of it. So whatsoever you have done so far, you have to conclude it. And after that, if you feel like giving some recommendations, you always have to give some recommendations. And if you want to give some future directions, if someone has done something and you have analyzed, you want to add on something but you do not have time to add on, you want to make it in future scope of this report, then you always have to give it into recommendations. Then you always have to keep appendix where you have written something which is have to be indexed, and if you want to refer it afterwards, then you have to keep a appendix. So in introduction and methodology, if you have done some background study, if you have referred some methods, you always have to cite it in references and bibliography. So this references has to be listed in terms of if you have taken some papers, some other reports, you always have to list them here, and you have to cite from where this statement, if you have made something, the method you have taken something, then you have to always give a reference to them. Coming to the technical proposal, we have executive summary initially itself, as we have seen in the technical report. We always have to give an abstract. We have to either give an executive summary or an abstract. Anything can be done. So it depends upon if you want to give an definitely the proposal is for proposing something, so you don't have results in your hand, but what you are going to do has to be there in the executive summary or abstract. So next to that, in the technical proposal will be your table of contents, what you are going to do. And next to this will be the technical background. You must have gone through few of the existing techniques that we have followed. So for identification of problem, you at least have to do some research over whatever topic you have taken in order to get the proposal. Then you have to identify the problem, that what is the exact problem. After that, you have to always justify whatever work you have proposed. Then in the subsection of this justification itself, what you have to write is some related work if you have gone through, some related work, or some existing work that you have followed till now. Then you have to refer few previous experimental results. If they have drawn some results, then you always have to keep it in your justification. Then you have to give a theoretical modeling of the experimental results, how they have drawn these results and why they are stuck to these results. Then you have to always give the implication of work completed till date. Till now, what has been completed, or the timeline that right from the beginning what has started and till now where we have reached in this area. And at the last, you always have to identify what are the critical needs in order to accomplish the work you have proposed. Next to this, coming to the technical approach, what you have done or what you are planning to do in order to address your problem. So firstly, you have to define certain types of objectives into it, and then you have to make statement of work. So in statement of work, details of how you will resolve these objectives that you have made in the proposal. So project schedules should be there, project tasks should be there, their schedules should be there, and what is the estimated cost in overall development of the entire proposed method you have given in the technical proposal. Then you have to always give what are the capabilities of your proposal. What is the project team, the key personals, equipments and facilities, everything has to be listed here. Then we have to go with what are the benefits of this proposed work. You always have to give the proposed works benefit, so that the person whosoever you are submitting this proposal will get attracted out of it and will be easily able to give you funds. Then we have, if we have environmental impact of our proposed work, we always have to mention it. Then if certain new nomenclature you have used, you always have to mention these nomenclatures here. If you have used certain abbreviations, you always have to mention. Then if in the background study, if you have referred some methods and definitely the related work, the previous work that has already been done has to be referred here. And at the last, if you want to make an appendix or index out of this technical proposal, you always have to mention this. So what is the difference between technical proposal and report? So in technical report, we are just mentioning what has happened. In technical proposal, we want to raise the fund out of our idea. So this is the way they are different. And next thing is technical description. If you want to describe something technically, so the technical description actually is a document that is created by an end user to understand how we can make this, how we have made this product, how, what is the process, or what is the concept of work. So majorly we divided into two categories. The first one is product description and the second one is process description. So let's see what is technical description about the product. So it typically includes the name of the product, what we have taken out. It will give you a brief overview of its functions, how it works. Then we have to dive deeper into size, frame, and other components if we have in our product. So the product description should contain all of these. Coming to the process description, it should contain the name of the process. It should give the brief overview of how it functions, or the entire process functioning. If we have size, frame, or the components that are used in this process, that also we have to keep it. And in addition to this, this was all we have covered into the product description. Along with this, if it is required, we always have to give the purpose of its design, what is the design structure, what are their parts, and other key details if you want to reveal in this process description. Thanks for watching this video.